Hey, everybody, and welcome to Module 1. I know a lot of you are ready to get right back into the swing of things of producing film, creating content, and that's what we're going to do with Module 1 is just get um, back in the swing of things, just get back with Premiere, back with our cameras, back out filming, kind of get work back up into the swing of things a little bit for this next week and a half or so. If you're watching the link from the email that I sent out, again, if you need to find this video later, I will put it in the module overview. And that goes for both fundamental and intermediate. Since this is intermediate class and the bulk of the students are intermediate cinema study students, we're going to start by looking at the intermediate module 1. We'll go on to the fundamental module 1. So I'll break things down into chapters in the YouTube link. So or on the YouTube timeline, so you can skip ahead if you're in fundamental. There won't be anything that necessarily pertains to you. If there is, I'll always kind of put it in this introduction. But the main thing is if you're not seeing if something's coming up on your end, especially in the grade book, if you're seeing things that aren't assigned to you in these videos or that you see in the module, they pertain to the other class. They put some fundamental students in intermediate as a way either to help them graduate sooner or to get them caught up since they're just offered once a semester. Again, if you're unsure, reach out to me. Um, just as you can just to verify, but you can assume if I haven't talked about it, it doesn't pertain to you. Same with grades. If you want up to date calculation on your grade, we might have to schedule a meeting and look it over. Um, it just won't reflect very well in Blackboard, and I'm sorry that that's the case. That's just kind of the way this class is designed. But I'm not anticipating anybody there being any major issues. So again, if you need to look at your grade, um, just hit me up and we'll get a good calculation of where you're at. All right, so I'm going to start with intermediate. You can go to the next chapter if you're fundamentals. All right, intermediate module 1. Again, if you see stuff come up, I've already created some stuff down the road. I hate Blackboard and I'm not certain if it's showing you, even though you can see here module 2 is hidden from students. I don't know if that shows you the assignments. It's not a very intuitive platform of all the ones I've used. It's actually my least favorite. So if you're seeing assignments that I'm not discussing, again, don't worry about them. I will tell you every assignment that you have for the module and when they're due. Hopefully, you're not even seeing them and it's not an issue. But as time goes on, we'll sort of know. Okay, first and foremost, I would like an introduction of you. Just record yourself, properly lit. By properly, I mean that it's not completely dark, blown out with lights. I know sometimes if you're just going to use, like, I'm using kind of a jury rig in a corner using a laptop. Um, I'm next to a window, so it can be somewhat lit. But make it look nice. No awful framing. Find your good angle. Let's put it that way. I have students sometimes they'll like have a tablet down below their nose. Like, I don't want to see up in your nose and I don't want to see the top of your head. Just nice framing as if you were going to do a Zoom for let's say, an interview. Okay, so you framed yourself and you've lit yourself. Um, Please introduce yourself again. I know most names, but again, it's always good to put a face to the name since we're not in person. Maybe a couple interesting facts about your life. And then talk to me about if you're taking intermediate, means you're kind of on this path towards wanting to work in this industry somehow. What are your career goals? How can this class help? What part of this class um, do you want to grow in? Writing, cinematography, directing, editing. Do other aspects of video creation engage you, such as creating commercials, YouTube videos? What is your relationship with film? Why does it interest you? And then, what is the greatest film created and why? Um, so, pretty general, run of the mill kind of things, but it'll give me a sense to know I can kind of tailor make classes. I can tailor make what you're doing towards your own goals. That's a nice thing about small class sizes and with online in general, is I can kind of make it a little bit unique to everybody, but it'll also show me where everybody's kind of headspace is. So the idea somewhere in 3 to 5 minutes, I think, is adequate. More or less, I don't want people sending me a 20-minute long. I'd love to get to know you all, but we have the whole semester to do that. So, um, you know, no less than 1 minute. You might be going a little too fast if that was the case. 5 minutes, if you're a little over, fine, but just don't go crazy. All right. So this is due this January 20th, which is Saturday, um, by midnight. So I think you should have time, give you a few days to kind of get settled in. This is the like one of very few assignments that'll be like a quick turnaround. Most things, if you've taken me with fundamentals, no, I give you usually 2.5 weeks to kind of do everything. Okay, so that's fairly easy. Assignment one, just want you to watch a quick video on the history of screenwriting, because we're going to delve right back into screenwriting. So I just kind of want to start there. Write 2 paragraphs over what you learned, minimum of 20 sentences. You can discuss the history of formatting and modern formatting, anything that really like made you go, huh, oh wow, okay, that's the stuff that if that can stick with you, great. That's what we'll go for. Check your grammar, your formatting, your spelling, things like that. So very easy. Watch a video, 20 sentences, put something into it. If you're wanting to go in this field, you need to master screenwriting. Um, Even your understanding of reading it. If you want to go into hair and makeup in film, you need to know how to read a screenplay, and you need to know what a correct um, screenplay format is. Even to that extent, it will make you so much more professional if you have an eye for reading good screenplays, well formatted screenplays, etc. Here is another link to that. If just for some reason you're coming back to it and you don't want to click in there, that's the same video that's in the assignment. So that is due the 28th, which is a Sunday at midnight. That said, try and keep your weekends open. You're still in college. Have fun. I push it to Sunday just to make people happy, but get your work done Friday, Saturday, have a day off, rest. Don't stay up gaming all night. All right, let's have a little fun. All right, let's film a little bit. For this assignment, I want you to do a biopic. So you're going to film about yourself. This again is just to start thinking of the shots. Like, what do they mean? What does how you're framing it? What does how you're composing it? What is the message being conveyed? Remember in fundamentals we did that first week. One of the first assignments was tell a story using only pictures. Your picture by itself, if you were to pause at any point in your film, I should have an idea of what's going on just by the framing and composition. So again, let's think about that, but apply it to yourself. Who are you as a person? Who are you as a aspiring filmmaker? Let's talk about that. So get to know yourself better as an artist. Um, I'm not going for perfection here. All right, this is not. This isn't one you're going to showcase in a film festival unless you want to, and you did really good. This is just to dig deeper in finding meaning within a shot. So close up shot, being more emotional, drawing the audience more in to maybe what's going on the face or something very specific. Wide shot, being more general, maybe feeling more isolated, alone, abandoned. Really kind of delve into and think about what am I trying to say with this shot. It's a tough skill to teach because it's coming from within you as the artist, not from me as a teacher saying do this. So it's really you coming to terms with understanding what the shot is supposed to say. um, it really can be um, anything you want to do creatively. So it can be as straightforward or esoteric as you want. By esoteric I mean avant-garde. um, I have an example of a student who kind of really went all out for it, and don't think you need to match the level, but it'll kind of show you. It's a little bit more of a narrative. If I click on it, it's going to go to YouTube, and I'm not going to be able to get back in, so you'll just have to click on it. But and it's an example of a little bit more straightforward. of one. But I've had students who do one like, on their heritage or something like that, and they use just symbols, color, things like that, to where it might involve a little bit more explanation from that. But the point is still there, right? So you can kind of do it, a little bit more of however you want. Uh, he also on this one, I'll just say this student kind of went above and beyond looking for plugins with Premiere to do the voiceover, to do some of the things that you'll see on there. So how exactly to do them, you dig around on the internet or ask me, and we can kind of find together if any of your interests. I know when I watch this, I'm like, I bet a lot of people are going to ask how do you do the voiceover, because that was my first question, and he found Amazon has a voiceover generator or something, but I know he also used some plugins. So, all right. Anyway, what are we going for? A minimum of a minute 20. Why'd I come up with that number? I don't know. Minute 20. Um, it must contain a minimum of 10 shots. Now, you can use footage of yourself from the past. Maybe you have something on your phone, or something like that that you want to showcase. That's fine. It just can't count towards your 10 shots. How do I know? Well, let's go on the honor system. Okay. So just don't cheat, or find the quick way out of doing things, and you'll be fine. Um, Music and audio aren't even required. I mean, if you could be that creative and do a biopic with no sound, more power to you. It's not, again, an assignment on perfection. It's you getting in connection with that artist within you, getting to know yourself a little bit more as an artist. If you do use things, oops, I skipped one. 3 Seconds of Black with the title before the film, and that can just be your name. It can be a title if you want to give it. You don't need the running time or anything like that. Just 3 Seconds of Black, with the title. And I should have had you put your name in there if you want to. Great. Since it's not on there, don't worry about it. I'll know who it is. Um, but I should have put that on there anyway. If you do use any copywritten material, such as a song, go ahead and put the credits at the end. Just name of the artist, song, and location. If it's use a Taylor Swift song, who's the distributor on it, who produced it. So Sony Music, whatever. Go ahead and just start getting in the habit of doing that. Again, this can be something symbolic. It can be a small part of your life, such as being on a sports team. It can cover your whole life. It can be about one aspect about yourself, such as being an introvert. Sky's really the limit. Um, Again, just wanting to make it so that the viewer walks away with a little bit better understanding about yourself, and in the process, again, you learn more about yourself as an artist. So the grading will be adherence to those rules, up there. Smoothness of the edits, is it like jump cut for no real reason? Are there flash frames in there? Is the audio balance? And then up to my discretion, which is just years of doing this, of knowing if you put time into it. Again, if you're an intermediate, you probably want to do it. So that is also due. I give you a little bit more time. So this is due the 31st of January. Just because we're starting in, I figured give you a little bit more time to get settled in. And this is the 28th. After this module, things should be clicked up a little bit more, where you won't have to worry about due dates being scattered here, there, and everywhere. But just pay attention to what date it is, how much time you have, plan and prep, and you'll be fine. All right, that is all I have for intermediate right now. Um, so yeah, happy filmmaking. Okay, fundamental. Going on to module one. For this class, again, you can see, you won't be able to see other than here. I have a lot of these modules created with the assignments already in them. So if you're seeing assignments, if I don't talk about it to you, it means it's either an assignment coming up that you don't need to worry about right now, or it's part of intermediate. I will talk to you about every assignment that's due. when in doubt, you can ask me, but just know that that's the case. Is it's probably an assignment already created. The way Blackboard does things, if I populate stuff over from a previous class, you'll have to go in and change the date on all of them. Hopefully, you don't even see them. I'm just, if you do, if you're seeing something that's like, wow, I have something due back in 2022. Okay, that's not something you need to worry about. If you're worried about your grade, hit me up at any point and we'll look it over. I'll let you know what's missing and where you're at with things. Okay, so we're in module 1. Simple enough. Once again, fundamental module 1. And if you're watching this via the email I sent out, and then when you go into Blackboard, you're wondering where this video is again, just module overview videos. Okay, module 1. To start off, make sure and go ahead and read chapters 1 and 2 of the Bare Bones Camera course. Some really good stuff in there, and it's probably one of the easiest reads I've ever at that college level read. Somebody who just wanted to make a book make sense to students and not just be a thick, boring textbook. So, start off under lectures. Go ahead and watch these 3. So, you have an introduction, you have a lecture on the camera, and you have a lecture on narrative. These are just PDFs if you want to refer back to them later, if there's a piece of information you liked or are trying to remember, whatever the case may be. Go back and watch these, or you have them there as PDF, but you'll watch these 3 lectures and they'll coincide with your assignments. First assignment that you have is, who are you? Really easy. Please record a video of yourself, well lit, properly framed. What do I mean by that? Well, look at me right now. This is a good standard. I'm somewhat squarely, kind of like sitting, wish you could see a picture of me because I'm kind of like crazily trying to stay in this corner right here. And my mouse is like all the way at the other end of this desk just to make room. But, squared up, well lit. I don't want to see up through your nostrils and I don't want to see the top of your head. Imagine you were doing a Zoom for an interview. Okay. Just record yourself like that. Use your phone, whatever. That's fine. This, again, just puts a face to the name. So, if I do know you, just introduce yourself again and tell me three interesting facts about yourself. So that is due the 20th, which is Saturday, by midnight. Nothing much to that one. All right, assignment 1. Nice, fun. I love this one. So you'll have just watched the camera lecture. Make sure you do that ahead of time. I want you to tell a story using only pictures. Okay, so as you'll be learning the difference between things like wide shots, medium, close up, learning their impact on the audience as they're watching the unfolding of the narrative. I want you to tell a story just using 10 to 15 shots. They should be a mix. A lot of times students kind of hang out in medium shots. I want to see a mix of things: wide, medium, close ups, high angle, low angle, canted. You'll learn about this in the lecture. Here's an example of a story. Someone is a door to door salesperson. Their goal is to get to the door. On their way, they are chased by a dog, sprayed with a water hose, finally fall in mud. The homeowner sees what they went through and buys their product. Okay, so how could I tell that in 10 to 15 shots? It's a cheesy story, but you get the idea. So again, the idea is to learn the angles and the impact. We don't need a lot if we have well composed, well framed shots. So I give you some examples here of, you can just look at this framing and know what's going on, right? I can look at this one and I have a sense of what's going on. I don't have the full scope of everything, but I have a good sense. I'm collecting a lot of information about the narrative, about the story, about the character, simply based on the framing of the shot. This is a great example from The Irishman. This is one of the last shots of the film. We can see this character. It's a little dark on my end. Hopefully you can see it. It's really isolated in this limited framing shot. right? That says, I mean, just by itself, I can see that's an isolated, lonely, almost closed away, forgotten about character. And you probably haven't even seen the movie, and you know that just by looking at that. Look at this shot from Harry Potter. We can see he's in danger. He's low. I mean, minus the panic on his face, we know that there's something intense, strong, scary, possibly going on. You'll learn about the rule of thirds. Keep that in mind. That's just ways of balancing good composition. And you can always try center framing. Let me grab my phone. Make sure for all your assignments, I know TikTok and Instagram are a huge thing. Your phone should never be like this for this class. If you're using a phone, it is always this way. So this is 16 by 9, which is an aspect ratio, which is our next assignment. And I'll skip down to it. You're going to watch a video on aspect ratio. What is aspect ratio? Simply put, it's the shape of the canvas of the screen. Phones, TVs, laptop monitors, things like that, they are all using 16 by 9 or 19 by 20, 1920 by 1080 ratio. And that's just the width by the height. And so you'll learn about that. Sorry, I'm skipping to 3, but it segued into what I had just been saying. But you'll watch this video and you'll answer these questions right here. Nothing much to it. And before I forget, these should all be due. That will be due on Sunday, the 28th, assignment 1. And assignment 3, aspect ratio, just to make sure I have it, 28th. And then assignment 2. This is a fun one. What I want you to do is you'll watch the movie Rudy. This will parallel with the lecture on narrative. Um, on here, you're going to see some questions that just correlate with the movie and your understanding of narrative design, narrative structure, and these will just answer the questions. If you go here, here's a link to rent the movie. You may see if they have a DVD at the library. If you're unable to do this, if for some reason you cannot get it, it's not there anymore, you've seen it 1,000 times, whatever the case may be, email me like 4 or 5 ideas that you could do. Essentially, make these questions and just replace them with the name, with Rudy, with one of the characters from another movie. But it'll have to be one that I'm fairly comfortable with and know. So if you could try and make this work, I know money can be tight for people, but just so you can kind of see what you'll be dealing with and it's not going to open. Pretty straightforward questioning. You can type the answers directly on there. You can copy and paste them over, however you want to do it. Just make sure it's nice, neat, organized. Your format's good, your grammar's good. You're not using like 10 different font sizes and 2 different fonts, that there's a cohesiveness to it. All right, so those are your 3.5, we'll call it, assignments for this module. Again, they're all the 28th. Looking here, that gives you a little over a week and a half to get things done. None of these are monumentally hard. Maybe a little bit of time when you add in the lectures, but this will get the ball rolling and you'll be in a good place. All right, I hope this helps. Again, email me if you have any questions, and happy Module 1.